I hope this is working. I haven't streamed for a while. Alright, it says I'm live. Sweet. Spent a good bit of the weekend building this thing, so I wanted to document it and show it off. I didn't realize these two things were here, these two nodes were here until later, but limestone node and two more iron nodes. This is just a little temporary setup, and I think I actually just ran out of gas. Yeah, I should probably have the gas in there. Alright. So I haven't really had a lot of time to spend on this base. I just started this one this afternoon. I actually had a fully functional base off in the distance. That away. But I saw an opportunity to make something better, so I went ahead and came over here and found some coal and started anew. So, coal. And a little ramp thing going on here. Leads over to this weird looking square thing that is not complete. But there's a ton of resources nearby in this area. I'll explain what I did here in a sec. Alright, so, first floor, not much really. This is really intended later on to have a couple of inventories so that all the stuff that the factory is making is easily accessible from the first floor. I haven't gotten to that just yet. I've got some copper coming in from over there. And two iron nodes here and one other iron node a little farther away to bring stuff in. I could have a few more. So second floor. Well, hey buddy. What's up? Second floor. I'm using these handy dandy wall conveyor ×1 into storage containers. So I set these up based on availability from up the stairs. So I really can only have like 7 inputs with the design so far. I think I can get a lot more efficient if I were to squeeze things tighter, but I didn't want to mess up the pattern, so I just used the floor plan or the floor squares to help me with the pattern. So once this stuff comes into the storage boxes, the idea is they're a buffer. So if the machines aren't running up here, at least I'm still collecting up to the one storage box worth, which obviously can be increased. And then this is the setup for what each one of those feeds into. These conveyor belts are doing 60 blocks or items per minute. The default without overclocking of these are 30 per minute. So I'm splitting it off into 2, and I'm letting these things run to get maximum efficiency. And then I'm merging them back together to a single conveyor, which again does up to 60 per minute. I've got a setup here for power, so on each end, I've got like a main power line going all the way up. And then if I want to use power from that, I'm branching off to 1 because of the cap of 4. Things connected to a single post, and then from then I'm branching off to smaller bits. I found it important to separate a main power line so that you can get power wherever it is you need it, and then branch off from there. So this floor is basically just refineries, and then they're all set up. They're not all functional because I haven't needed all those ores. I really only needed 3 iron and 1 copper for the last space, and everything was running just fine. I got inventories full of everything I needed. And then from there, I'm feeding the refined iron up these walls, which is why they're so messed up looking. I've only put up the ones I actually need into another storage block, because again, if I'm messing with the manufacturing here, the constructor, or anything beyond, at least the refineries are still running, and they're still producing refined iron ingots. So it really lets me, it gives me flexibility to mess with stuff. It does become a problem if you really want to change where these are, because then your inventory gets full of ingots, but I'd rather maintain production than worry about that. And this is kind of laid out pretty well already, at least for what I need. And then this whole floor has got a bunch of space to add more constructors and assemblers, and you, of course, you can build up. My problem is really going to be bringing the refined stuff back down. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that yet. I'll probably end up making use of these wall conveyors, because the one thing I did notice is that I can also place them against here. Well, I have to build it up from the bottom, I think, but the idea is... there we go. And it's not going to work here because this giant thing is actually this many blocks wide. But yeah, if I really wanted to, I could place it there. The first stab at some sort of vertical base so that you don't have to keep making everything horizontally, with enough room to grow for at least about 7 sets of 2 refineries. But there's a bunch of space in between these because I wanted to keep the patterns set up. So these fit perfectly the way this is set. And I think it looks nice. It's kind of aesthetic. Nice aesthetic. It's been a great weekend playing out the game. I can't wait for the actual release. I didn't even finish researching all of the tiers. I really didn't think I was going to need the jumping stuff, but here I could actually make good use of it. It should be, it would have made this a lot easier if I'd taken a lot of damage from falling down. I haven't died to it yet. That's like the original setup. This was just feeding into a storage bin, which was like feeding into a constructor, which was making all the stuff I need to build, because this requires a lot of these things, concrete, to make all these platforms. There's 2 blocks, and then the next one is just a half to give more space, really. It actually does help because I don't think I could have built this with the full blocks. Actually, let me see. Let's see. Can't put it in. These are pretty tall. So it takes 2.5 blocks of foundation. Yeah, no space. And these stairs, I'm really actually proud of these things. I think they look really cool. But it would have been nice to have a jump block at the bottom of these to just propel myself up. It's been kind of annoying climbing, or having to climb. I'm sure they'll add more stuff. I'm gonna make my way over to the original setup, or the original base. Don't know if I have enough gas. We always make some more on the way. These power lines go ridiculously far, especially compared to the conveyors. And I really like this area because there was just a little bit farther out over here another copper node. Whoa, that looks deep. And a few more iron nodes. I actually found a sulfur node too. This is a limestone. Some more iron here. Yeah, there's a little sulfur node hidden away by the edge where the base is that I just showed off. And on this one there was no copper nearby. I didn't even know I needed it, so I just made this massive conveyor from way off in the distance. You can actually see the coal plant that I created just for that one miner because I didn't want to run the power all the way over. Off in the distance to the left. And this is the original base. I'm actually going to stay in the vehicle for this point of view until I get over to the other side. So this one has just the one coal power plant, but it's been upgraded, so it's running at, I believe, 200% power still. Yeah, nothing's happening because everything is full already. See here, just everything is just full of resources. Just made it real easy. Actually knew I realized I was gonna need a lot of these iron plates, so I just made 2. And this was just a little setup for biofuel. Before I got the coal set up, I had all this biofuel. So I had a little main line of power poles. If you look at it from this angle, you can kind of tell there's a main line of power poles with one biomass burner attached to each, and then a little pole out here for usage. Because you see this one's already maxed at 4 with a single bio burner, the next node, the previous node, and then the node for access for everything else. And there's wifey. Say hi, wifey. Wow, this is really not a lot, huh? So if I do this, everything just starts kicking into play. But because there's so much surplus, it really doesn't take it that long to run. Unless I were really to be using a lot of stuff. And I think that's so cool. Oh, still not enough. Alright, let's go.
Milestone reached. Buildings aimed at factory traversal, including several different categories of jump pads, can now be accessed in the build menu. Caution is recommended during use of these
Bye.
pads.
And it's gone. So now, where are these? Ooh, jump pad. Yeah. What does it cost to make? Oh, it's not that expensive at all. What? It requires 200 comp or biomass? Alright. Do I have that? Just make it. I have some wood in there, right? Oh, well, that's easy. Done. And jump pad I have enough, and this thing I have enough. Alright, I'm gonna go build it at the other base. Bye! And that thing flies really close to the other base, which is cool. It makes noises. Oh wait, I forgot. I needed to give this thing some more fuel. Yeah, while I'm here, I might as well grab it. The other base is already starting to produce its own stuff, but this is kind of annoying. Oh, you know what else? I set this up so it only takes leaves because leaves are the thing that take forever to do. Here, you can just put in biomass directly, and it'll just pump it over, because this is just making biomass. Once it turns into biomass, it's no difference between wood and grass biomass. It's just mass. I did find that annoying. Early on, like, you get only leaves until you can get that chainsaw, and then once you get the chainsaw, you can actually get some wood, which is much easier to convert to biomass. And there we go. You see, it's still consuming this stuff even when you're not using it, which is why I was taking the stuff out. At least that's what it seems like to me. So if you leave biomass inside this thing, it'll just, or fuel, it'll just keep on consuming it. I'm gonna take a detour also, because this end, or the coal that was over here, it appeared to be like past a giant crevasse, whatever, that you could just fall into. Didn't actually try to fall into it. But yeah, that does not look safe. Find it funny that I'm still being moved, even though the coal's not moving. I think I'm spending more time here. I built that jelly thing and the jump pad, and then I'm done. Because I won't have time to play tomorrow, so this is as far as I get. Oh look, it's coming back. They did a great job with the long distance rendering, like the scaling down of stuff. In most cases, I only ran into one case where at a very short distance, the grates above the refineries or the biomass generators were completely disappearing because of that rendering distance thing, or optimization. And I really wish they would have done some kind of bland graphic, because it just completely vanished. It went from fully rendered to completely vanished in a very short distance and not very far away. And I'm like, I built this up higher because I planned on doing some factory stuff on the bottom, or rather not factory, but whatever this thing is. I never got to build the truck station stuff at the bottom, but I never got there. I never did automate these things. Yeah, the autopilot would have been really cool to do. Alright, let's see if I can't put a jump pad on here. Oh, and it requires power. What's a good thing? I've got extra power. Oh, but it's a bad thing I don't have it in line of sight. Alright, let's put another thing here. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's a great way up. Oh, you see the damage if I jump down more than one block. Alright, so let's see what we can do about that. Jelly landing. Oh, that thing's huge. It doesn't fit in base. It requires power? What? I really didn't have this in mind when I was building, so I don't think it's gonna really work well. That's interesting that it needs power. I really like that when you break something here, you get all of your materials back, so there's no regret for having placed this thing down. In the wrong place. Oh, cool. That's weird. And I did find the doggo at one point, but I didn't know how to tame it. It just kept running away. Only after that did we read the wiki where it says, hey, if you face him, he'll run away. My bad. Alright, so this is how that works. Okay. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Shouldn't act so surprised. You're gonna land jelly and not die. Wow. Surprise! Is it here? I'm gonna choose the wrong corner and die, and it's not gonna be funny. Yeah, it's over there. At least there's a lot of control on your way down, so you can mitigate some of that damage, but this is gonna be super helpful later on. Oop. Oh Man, I should have built that forever ago. Could have done this so much faster. Alright, so what's the hold up here? Is this stuff done? Is it full? What was I building here? No. What are you making? You have no power? Oh, maybe I should give you power. Well, that's dumb. Oh, now I do this. Okay. No power. Oh, did this thing run out of... Oh. Ah. I was like, there's no way this thing ran out of coal. Got 2 power plants running down there. Yeah, I'm not even near capacity and everything is set up, but not everything is running, so I'll probably need to overclock those down there if I get to keep this map after the alpha ends. I get to try again. That'll be fun. Alright, well, that's pretty much it. The extent of my play for the weekend, even after a long trip out on Saturday. I hope other people have built similar things over the weekend. I'm going to be looking for the videos. Alright, good night.